Hello everyone, welcome back to MindFuse Academy, where we dive into fascinating legal principles and their real-world applications. Today we're exploring a cornerstone of legal ethics and confidentiality: attorney-client privilege. We'll be looking closely at one of the most pivotal cases in U.S. legal history concerning this privilege, Upjohn Company versus United States. This case clarified the scope of attorney-client privilege, especially in corporate contexts. Let's get into it. The attorney-client privilege is a rule that protects communications between an attorney and their client, ensuring confidentiality. This principle encourages clients to share information openly with their lawyers, which is crucial for effective legal representation. But what happens when the client is not an individual, but a corporation with numerous employees? This question was at the heart of Upjohn Company versus United States. In the late 1970s, the Upjohn Company, a pharmaceutical corporation, discovered questionable payments made by its foreign subsidiaries to foreign government officials, potential violations of U.S. law. Concerned about these practices, Upjohn's management decided to investigate internally and engage their legal team to conduct an in-depth review. During the investigation, Upjohn's attorneys sent a questionnaire to certain employees. The questions asked about specific payments made abroad, aiming to uncover any potential violations. The employees' responses were then collected as part of the investigation, and Upjohn's legal team used this information to assess any legal risks. However, in 1976, the IRS began investigating Upjohn for possible tax issues related to these payments. As part of their investigation, the IRS issued a summons for Upjohn's internal documents, including the questionnaires filled out by the employees. Upjohn refused to hand over these documents, claiming they were protected by attorney-client privilege and the work product doctrine. The IRS argued that attorney-client privilege should only protect communications between attorneys and high-level management, not lower-level employees. This clash set the stage for a significant legal battle, with both sides arguing over the reach of attorney-client privilege. After a series of lower court rulings, the case eventually made its way to the United States Supreme Court in 1981. The primary issue before the court was whether the attorney-client privilege applied to communications between corporate lawyers and the company's employees, particularly when those employees weren't in senior management. At the time, lower courts were divided. Some courts applied a narrow interpretation of attorney-client privilege, often called the control group test, which limited privilege to communications involving only high-level management. Upjohn argued that this narrow view hindered corporate counsel's ability to conduct thorough investigations, as they often needed information from employees outside of senior management. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Upjohn, broadening the scope of attorney-client privilege within corporations. Justice William Rehnquist, writing for the court, emphasized that corporate attorneys need access to information from all employees to provide sound legal advice. The court ruled that the privilege applies to communications between corporate counsel and any employee if the communication is intended to provide legal advice to the corporation, and if it's directly related to matters within the scope of the employee's job responsibilities. This decision clarified that privilege does not only protect conversations with executives, but also applies to employees throughout the organization, provided the communication is confidential and seeks legal advice. Upjohn Company versus United States has since become a cornerstone case for attorney-client privilege within corporate law. Its impact goes beyond Upjohn, affecting corporate investigations, legal compliance, and internal audits in countless industries. One major outcome of this ruling is that corporations are encouraged to conduct thorough internal investigations, knowing they can communicate freely with legal counsel without fear of exposure. This privilege ensures that corporate attorneys can gather detailed information from employees to provide comprehensive advice, particularly in complex regulatory matters. The case also brought greater clarity to the limits of privilege and highlighted the importance of confidentiality. If a corporation's legal team needs employee information to address compliance or ethical issues, the Upjohn ruling ensures those communications remain privileged. While Upjohn Company versus United States clarified many aspects of attorney-client privilege, it also raised new questions. For example, some courts continue to debate the boundaries of privilege in scenarios like internal investigations led by external consultants or communication involving non-legal business advice. However, the case remains a foundational guide for legal professionals and corporations on the scope of privilege. It's a critical reminder of the importance of confidentiality in the legal process, protecting both individuals and corporations from undue exposure. That wraps up our in-depth look at Upjohn Company versus United States and its impact on attorney-client privilege. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into legal cases that have shaped our justice system. Let us know in the comments which case or legal principle you'd like us to explore next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.